What's a profession you'd never date? Please don't say engineer. Please don't say engineer. Metal fabricator here. I'd date one just to argue with them about how it won't work in the real world, then have angry sex. I'm an engineer, and I'm very impressed anyone wanted to date me, much less marry me. An underrated one is chef. You'll have this vision in your head of them cooking you gourmet meals every night. That's not even close to how it goes. First of all, they almost always work at night and on weekends, since that's when people go to restaurants. At home, they tend to make the most basic food. The job is super stressful, so they're on edge a lot, and there's a lot of drug use and alcoholism among chefs. You want someone who can cook but doesn't do it for a living. As a chef, this is all true, although I work all mornings now and have learned how to leave work at work. However, I definitely make the most basic food at home. I'd love to find a husband who loves cooking so that I never have to do it. To add to this, every single chef I've ever known has cheated on his wife with girls at work. Every single one of them. I've worked with a lot of chefs. I was in the restaurant and hospitality industry for over 20 years. I'm a chef, and I always bristle at this stereotype. I love making food for people, paid or not. I do 5 to 6 nights of cooking at home for my wife and kids, and just enjoy trying new things. I'm making chicken and vegetable masala wraps for everyone as I type this. I get that there are a lot of chefs and back-of-house staff who do fit this mold. But you never see posts about all the ones who actually enjoy their career. My wife works in education. She's got an incredible heart and is really what we need in education, but so many in education are super drama hungry. It's ridiculously toxic. I've been married to an engineer for 40 years, but back in the day, dating surgeons who had on-call responsibilities was a hard no from me. I knew that if your job is to respond to emergent tragedies, and your competence determines life or death, and you love your work, you were someone who did not have enough left over to help build the life I hope to live. Honestly, as someone in the Army, I'm surprised nurse is being said more than Army. Like we have a saying that anything that's being told to you, no matter how obvious, is because someone did it. The most common briefing we get before holidays and long weekends is, don't beat your wife. Don't add or take away from the population. As someone in the Army, I definitely wouldn't want to be with someone else in the Army. I do not know how they do it in the States, but up north, they won't deploy you both at once, and definitely not to the same place. If one of you isn't deployed or on exercise, the other often is. Your kids are frequently only being parented by one parent at a time, plus they do try to post married and common-law couples together, but if there's delays, or if they can't do it, you end up spending even more time apart. No assholes here, man. I'd rather be with a civilian who can come with me where I go and hold things down at home at all times. I once heard a divorce lawyer with over 25 years of experience list the 4 professions women should never date. 1, commercial pilot. 2, surgeon. 3, police officer. 4, firefighter. Her explanation was that these are professions where people's safety and well-being are in the palm of their hand, and as such they develop an unhealthy God complex. Like, the heart surgeon gets home and says, I just saved a person's life, and you want me to take out the trash? Stand-up comic. Good Lord. The worst dating and relationship stories I know are from friends who dated comics. Far too many use stand-up as a replacement for therapy. One of our friends has this boyfriend who decided he was funny halfway through their relationship. For your information, he's not funny, and she's the only one who laughs at his jokes in a room full of silent people. So, one of my close friends is a former professional stand-up comic. She literally can't not tell a joke. Like, if I tell her I'm having the worst week of my life because of whatever, and she thinks of something funny to say about it, she will tell that joke no matter how hurtful or unhelpful it may be. And she will expect me to laugh. This isn't an I'm trying to cheer you up kind of thing either. Like, she'll do that too eventually, but that initial joke is just reflexive and often inappropriate. This trait is bad enough in a friend,
I cannot imagine dating someone with it.
I'm a professional stand-up comic, and when I'm home for too long, my wife will be like, "Don't you have to be on the road somewhere?" She's kidding, mostly. I've been doing comedy a long time, and when I met her, I was 10 years in, which helps. I'm over 25 years into comedy now. We have an amazing relationship. But also, I have gone out of my way to not make comedy about being a toxic person. I've tried to have friends outside of comedy, etc. But I will say, you do need a spouse who is comfortable being alone a lot. Edit. I just realized my profession is rated worse on profession I'd never marry than ICE agents. What the heck, lol? Also, this is the one job on here that's getting mostly judged on amateurs and open micers. Nobody is talking about hobbyist paleontologists.
I'm a paleontologist. Fieldwork takes me away for months at a time. The museum pay is awful. We've had multiple cross-country moves. My spouse is a trooper. But the majority of my colleagues are divorced or on their way there.
How many dumb Ross Geller jokes do you get per year on average?
Archaeologist here. 100% agree on everything you said. I'd never date my own profession. I also got lucky with a great spouse who works in the medical field, so he has an easier time finding jobs with our moves.
To be fair, as long as we were compatible otherwise, I'd love to be with a paleontologist or someone who works in the sciences in general. Having someone who could teach me all the really specific, nerdy things they study would be so cool.
Certain surgeons, from what I've heard, certain specialties basically have to sacrifice their lives for their careers. I couldn't deal with a person spending 80-hour weeks in the hospital. But much respect to those people who have that kind of dedication and passion for their work and helping others.
Didn't have to scroll far. I would also say surgeons. Was engaged to an orthopedic surgeon. Good guy overall. But he dedicated most of his time to work and prep and anything related, which I understand is required if you want to master your skills. For me, it was very lonely, even when times were good.
Surgeons are the worst in terms of how faithful they are. 5 out of 6 surgeons I know are either divorced, cheaters, or on their third marriages. As an escort, another typically non-dateable profession, I can tell you that most surgeons are weird freaks in the bedroom as well.
To give an uncommon one, any party-centric person, be it planner or even setup person. I say this as someone who works as a renter. Our schedules are messed up. Think of when the average person would throw a party, weekends and holidays. I'm working. If you checked my location, I'd be at people's houses pretty frequently, sometimes multiple weeks in a row, thinking of like a ballroom or a regular event or conference. I could probably check off a bunch of people's dating and getting to know you red flags without even trying.
Can confirm as someone who works in the industry. Always working on the weekends and no setup ever takes the anticipated amount of time.
Astronaut. Can't get a day off. Everything is time-sensitive or critical. You can't get more long distance than this. Hates flying during off days.
Firefighters. All of them in my area are drunks. At least once a year they go to a funeral for a firefighter who died by suicide. No one sees a problem with any of that, apparently.
First responder. God bless them. They can be deeply troubled people. Very high rates of addiction and domestic violence.
Anyone in impact sports. The CTE factor is way too high for my sensibilities. Managing someone physically larger and much stronger through disability, dementia, and death would be too devastating. I watched a friend's mother go through this, and the millions her husband earned throughout his NFL career were not worth the suffering that came afterward.
My dad developed ALS from having multiple head injuries as a teenager playing contact sports in the 70s. I swore to my husband that if we had children, they would not be allowed to play football, lacrosse, martial arts, and so on. Maybe that's a little overboard, but the trauma that occurs from these sports isn't worth it.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. It really helps. Subscribe for more, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next one.